This is Kumar Singh from Design Analytics LLC, and you're watching another episode of Tuesday Trivia. Well, the question that we are going to discuss today is something that has been doing rounds recently, and actually someone actually ended up asking me this question. Can superintelligence, whenever it becomes a reality, can it actually kill humans? Right? So, like always, I'll start first with a one-word answer to this, and that one-word answer, as French like to say, ça dépend, which means it depends. So let's start elaborating on that a little bit. If AI can kill humanity, any form of AI can end up taking or suggesting or recommending an action to kill humans. Even a simple machine learning algorithm or a deep learning algorithm, right? A couple of years ago, we had this news article, right, where it was suggested that an AI in some form of simulation gaming for the Air Force suggested to eliminate like the human pilot, At that time, like the day this news first came into existence, like it started getting circulated, it went viral. I wrote on LinkedIn that the only way this can happen is if there was a major design flaw in the AI. Few days after that, we figured out that the news was actually incorrect. But can AI do that? It certainly can if you make a mistake. Let's pause onto the AI thing for now and move on to a very old, almost like 75 years, almost a century old method of optimization. Right? There's a saying in the world of optimization, because before I jumped into AI, operations research was OR was my first love. You can say that. AI is my most recent girlfriend. My wife is okay with that, by the way. So, in the world of optimization, right, there is a saying that says the model will sell its grandma for a penny. What that means is that at the back end, those optimization models also are pure math, right? So if, say, you give them an objective of minimizing cost for the model, 1 million, 1 billion or 1 cent reduction is cost, is still a cost reduction. So it will try to do anything possible to save that 1 penny. And if you have not formulated the constraints and other parameters strategically, it will suggest doing some really weird things just to save a penny, things that will cost you millions, right? If you have not captured them properly, right? So that's what an optimization model is. But now you may say that AI or artificial intelligence is smart, right? It's smart in some sense, right? But here is something that I keep on emphasizing and that you have to remember. That model, algorithm that creates the model, algorithm, whatever way you want to look at it, is still math. The irony is when we try when we are trying to capture any form of artificial intelligence, right, in our world, even if it's inspired by human brain, we have no other way but to capture it in a mathematical format. Even when in the future, when the hardware becomes advanced and we are using quantum computers, it will still be derived by some form of math, because that is the only way we can capture intelligence as humans in an artificial way, even if it's super intelligence, right? It's just that again, it's my perspective that the super intelligence path will be basically a modification of the existing approach, you can say, and we need to expand the gamut of math from the current approach into a portfolio of few approaches aided by some advanced hardware, but it still will be math, right? I think the confusion stems from the fact that we keep on using the word artificial intelligence, and then most of the time if you look at those PowerPoint presentations or any visual infographic, we generally end up showing a brain, and there are these two letters on that engraved on that brain, AI, and that kind of gives us impression that somehow we are actually capturing intelligence at our end. The capabilities that we have lag a typical human brains very, very, very significantly. You have to remember that at this point we don't even know why we dream in a specific way, right? We don't know. I mean, there are various postulations, but just wanted to kind of highlight how little we know about how brain works. So you have to keep in mind that the way neurons exist and the neurons fire and the way the brain interprets the firing of those neurons are not the 0 and 1s and a node getting active and shutting down and all that we capture in a artificial neural network or an ANN. So that's one key aspect we have to remember. Whether it was the almost a century-old optimization method, or whether it's artificial intelligence, behind the scene, it is still math, right? And as you can assume, right, if math does not feel, right, if math does not have a consign, it cannot get angry, it cannot get concerned. Any decision that it will take will be based on calculations, right? So if an optimization can decide to do something really senseless to save 1 penny, if you have not, and say, let's go back to the optimization example also, the same optimization, if you're modeling trucks and you are as assets, if you model human as assets and you allow the model to open or close a human, and every human costs you, right? The model decides to quote unquote close few human beings in its output. Does that mean that the model is saying, okay, let's just eliminate, kill those humans? No, it doesn't know. It does not even understand what that means in a pure understanding way. The optimization model, right? So the same kind of applies in the world of AI. You have to remember that if an AI is suggesting something harmful, it's because of some problems with its design or training, right? And the same can happen with superintelligence as well. And that's why when you are creating something that powerful, the superintelligence algorithm, and why I do not say algorithms, because my perception is the company that ends up building the first superintelligence algorithm will have the power to not allow any other company to build anything at all if they want, actually. Right? So that's why I'm saying the company that builds the superintelligence algorithm may run into the same issue, right? But only if they have not created specific guidelines, and that's where the guardrails come into picture. So if you remember this news where the father of AI basically says that we need to build some maternal instincts in AI for humans. And again, this kind of statement may confuse some people, right? Because they may think that the algorithm will have some kind of consciousness, right? Like morality, right, wrong, and actual maternal instinct of love and compassion. It can never happen, but you can still mimic both in AI, in current technologies that we use, as well as in a superintelligence context, but it will not exactly be how we feel. But what they mean here is what we call guardrails, right? So if within a problem that an AI is solving, right? If you go back to the pilot problem, if the objective is to win the war, right? So if there's a dog fight happening and it's this AI is assisting a pilot, if the objective is to win a dog fight, an equally important objective that the in the problem that the AI is trying to solve, if that is that you have to save human life, then obviously AI will have that quote unquote maternal instinct, right? Because it's an objective, it's calculating in real time, and it will go to any length. It will sell its grandma for a penny, or will do anything to not only win the dog fight but to save the pilot. And obviously it's kind of a conflicting objective. So if AI senses that the dogfight is going to be lost, then I think the priority, in terms of priority, there should be a prioritization in the algorithm that the AI will take steps to save the pilot, get it away from danger at a specific point where the pilot can eject safely and things like that. So I hope it kind of gives you a good overview of why superintelligence is not going to take over humanity or kill humanity unless we have done a really bad job of building those superintelligence algorithms or the superintelligence algorithm. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again on Thursday.